Hey everybody, and welcome to Prep or Die. I'm DM Aphi.
Did you really put us that live that quick?
I told you I was pressing the live button.
Oh my gosh, I'm really caught off guard here. Well, sorry, you do the thing. I'm just
I already did the thing. It's your turn to introduce yourself.
I'm Jeremy from Old Men Rolling Dice, and obviously I'm having a bit of a stroke or something tonight because I'm just not on target. Not on target.
Hey, let's go live. Back. Okay, I'm pressing the button.
I didn't know.
15 seconds. That's all you get.
Maybe I thought you were bluffing. I thought you were bluffing.
No.
Clearly not. Clearly not. How are you this week?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
We're going to have such a good week, Jer. We're going to go see Rune from Cantrips and Coffee tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then we're going to a con on the weekend.
We're going to a con. Sponsoring that con. Old Men Rolling Dice is sponsoring that con. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting. It's a little con. People are like, people talk about conventions. This is nothing. This is like a...
This is a bunch of nerds in like one conference room.
A large gathering.
What's the name of the con?
It's called Ragnarok XP.
Yep. In Kitchener-Waterloo.
Kitchener-Waterloo, Ontario, Canada. And it is, I don't know. I'm like, I think my son bought a ticket yesterday and he was ticket number 50 something. Yeah. I'm like, oh boy, it's going to be tiny.
But I got 2 people at my table for Honey Heist.
Do you?
So I'm here for it.
Okay. That's excellent. I'm glad to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's see. Who do we have here with us tonight?
First we got Artemis.
Artemis, tell us who you are and why you're here.
Well, I'm here because I'm on the backup list.
You are our permanent DH.
Yep.
When we did have a guest, stuff comes up in people's lives, and sometimes you just can't make it. So when we have some people that we go to, and Artemis is one of those go-to people.
Yeah, I'm here anyways.
Where can people find you, Artemis?
I am the social media manager and content coordinator for the Vactier, and
which is a Twitch channel right here.
Basically, where I always am now. If I'm not there, I'm with Jer on his channel on Wednesdays and Sundays, and yeah, I do a lot of stuff.
People are starting to connect the dots on like how we know you and why we draw on you.
Oh boy, that's awesome. Well, that's scary.
I appreciate you being here. You bailed us out.
Mm-hmm.
Next, who do we have? I'm not looking at the screen. Who you walk us through?
Matthew Robinson is next.
Yes, ma'am. How's it going, everybody? My name is Matt, otherwise known as Grape Ape. I write DCC modules. Module. I've got one out currently. It's called The Conspiracy of Ravens.
Listen. All greatness starts somewhere.
Exactly. Once you get the first one done, it's like fun. It's like, man, I did it. But then after you get the first one done, it's like, oh, this is work. This is like, I have to sit down and do this.
So I think it's interesting because there's probably lots of people out there that have thought about writing a module, whether it be for DCC or whatever their favorite role-playing game is. So could you give us a nugget of like information on what the biggest hurdle to get over is?
The biggest hurdle was inexperience. Just making sure I talked to as many people as I could, try to gather as much information as I could. But even then, still, I was inexperienced with Kickstarters, inexperienced with formatting. I had to watch a bunch of Google videos on how to format. And, it's not just writing it down and the words come out of your brain onto paper and then poof, it appears. There's like all kinds of extra work that goes into it. So
I think that's what people don't realize, like all the little stuff that comes up along the way. And Kickstarter is terrifying to me. Like to put a project up on Kickstarter. Yeah. Wow.
Luckily, I was successful. The DCC community is great. The second module is about halfway, 3/4 of the way written. I'm writing another book about reverse spells because we don't have too many spells in DCC. I want more.
Fair enough. Yeah.
On Tuesdays, every 2 weeks, I run the Raw Twitch stream on the Goodman Games channel.
Right here.
The next one's going to be on the 30th, and then this Friday we have our DCC live play with the Grape Apes Reaver Express. So that'll be coming back, and that runs every 2 weeks as well. And then I help run the Dungeon Crawl server, which is a DCC fan server on Discord.
Oh, nice. I don't think I'm on that. I'm gonna have to get on that. I'm sort of new to DCC. Like I've like you started with Redbox and BECI BECMI. But yeah, I'm sort of still new to the whole DCC thing, so I'm making all the connections.
I will send you a link.
That's awesome. I'm
Me
in.
too.
I'm in. Last but not least, Alphinius Goo. Welcome to Prep or Die. Tell us about yourself for those that don't know, and maybe a little bit about Gooey Cube.
Hell, my friend, it is good to see you, Jeremy. And Matthew, if I don't know if you know this, but at Gooey Cube we do this thing where we help people publish stuff. We have all we need to chat after this thing is over, right? So we might be able to make a little put a little coin in your purse, so to speak, as they say, right out there. So yes, it is I, Alphinius Goo. Hello, Alfie. It is good to see you as well. And oh, wait a minute, who's the designated hitter?
Artemis.
Well, we call Artemis.
Yes,
but I think...
Artemis, you are marvelous for stepping in and walking in there and just taking the reins. This is marvelous. This is fantastic. So you are wonderful. And by the way, I love the little things on the eye tattoos. You know, it's marvelous. It's a good look.
Thank you. It's
a
just
good
makeup.
look.
It's different
Yeah, but
every
it's
week.
still a good look.
It is.
Different every week.
It's different every stream.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's different every stream. Because I accidentally color coded all of our streams with my makeup. So
So do you do it? Do you do a different little thing? You know, pretty much. That's awesome.
It's lots of fun. It's always good to see like a different look for every stream.
Marvelous. Well. Anyway, a pleasure, my friends. Thank you for having this old wizard on your stream. This is wonderful to be here tonight, and I will do my best to bring a tale to this little makeup thing. Of course, I am old and forgetful, so if I forget things, don't hold it against me. Gooey Cube is our company. By the way, I am a huge Goodman Games fan. I even actually have 2 box sets of the White Rock, Castle White Rock, and the environs, the old box set. I have 2 of them, one that I opened and one that I have still in the plastic. So I'm kind of a crazy collector about these kinds of things, and Goodman Games is one of my favorites through the years, and DCC, of course, has got that old school feel. So this is it's just wonderful, you know. It's just amazing. So anyway, Gooey Cube. So we make what we call immersive experience adventures for the 5th edition, and we do so to really try to do basically just 2 things. One, we want to make the game master's life far easier, whether they're a new game master that's never game mastered before, or whether they've been going for 20 years. We want to cut their prep time 50, 60, 70%, while at the same time giving them an intense, multi-layer plot, interesting adventure that will truly enthrall their players. And I believe we are accomplishing this. We are a little publisher out of Colorado, and it's really our Gooey Cube is what do they call it? What do you youngsters call it, Aphi? They call you youngsters call this a side hustle.
Oh, a side hustle for sure.
Yeah. So Gooey Cube is a side hustle. Yes, that is.
I feel it.
Our day jobs, that we have a little advertising agency, and that is why we are able to do all this stuff, because all the things you have to have in a little advertising agency, all the things you need to have in a little publishing company. So anyway, I'm very excited to be here. You are marvelous. Thank you for inviting me, Jeremy, and we'll do our best to give a good tale.
Yeah, I'm excited, and anything that cuts my prep time, I'm in for. Getting older, having family, working jobs, and then having, as you said, side hustles. Time becomes incredibly valuable. So anything that'll cut my prep time, I'm in.
Well, and
Just
Jeremy,
fake
in one of our box sets, you could find 50, 60, 70 full color handouts, like in the old days when you used to get
Nice.
the ink drawings. Yeah, we really try to make it a much different experience.
You know what? I just ran Tomb of Horrors this week, and I don't know if you remember Tomb of
Yeah.
Horrors. The module is full
Yeah,
of
about
handouts.
that.
Yeah, what about that?
What about that?
You were
My
DMing
soul,
that night.
My
You were
soul was lost in the dungeon.
Oh, did you watch? Well, we needed a reason for them to go in, so we just put Aphi's soul in the dungeon. We said that's why they were
Not
there.
even me, like actually me, not a character named me. No, me.
No, it was a character named you. It was a character named you.
Mhm.
Clearly, I don't have copyright on that. Okay, listen. So what we're gonna do now is our friends here have the 5 images for tonight. We've given them the 5 pictures. We're gonna let them start to do their prep time. we will probably jump in halfway through your prep time just to see how it's going and see if we can like get a little glimpse of things to come. And then after half an hour, we'll give you an opportunity to let chat know all about your adventure, and we can steal all your ideas for our own games.
Yep.
That's sort of the plan here.
Theft is the name of the game.
Yes, and then at some point, if Aphi doesn't feel like you've done it well, you die, I think.
Yeah, it's in the name.
Then the name is Prep or Die.
Yeah.
I think we've done this a whole bunch of times now. I couldn't even tell you how many times we've done this show now. I don't think anybody has actually ever died, have they?
What? There's no deaths?
There's been a couple
Still
people who have
no.
snuck through. They made their death saving throws.
They made their death saving throws and they snuck through. Yeah,
And they snuck
yeah.
through, or they like crit 20
So
at like the last
show
minute.
is not the show is not old school, where there are no death saves. The show is very 5e. We've got death saves. We're gonna let you get through. Okay. Well, let's
I
do
really
this.
feel like I should totally screw it up now just to give Aphi the chance to just kill someone, you know?
I submit myself as sacrifice. I submit myself as tribute. Yeah. I'm not sure they would like us over at our producers at Goodman Games. They might not like us if there was a death on channel.
No, probably not. You know,
No,
murder
I think
tends
that-
to like make things
Does that
not
violate
go
the
so hot.
Twitch agreement?
I think so.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Okay, have you got the you've got the stopwatch? Let's give everybody
I'm
a
ready
half
to
an
go.
hour. If Aphi and I, yakking away about the pictures is bothersome to you, take your headsets off or turn us down. Just kind of every so often glance at the screen. So if I'm going like hello, that means to come back. We want to talk to you. Is that good?
Sounds good.
That sounds marvelous. Looking forward
Okay.
to it.
You guys start prepping, and we'll start talking about all our different pictures that we have here tonight. Do we have the pictures here tonight?
Yeah, we do. You gave them to me already.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I gotta see if Jason gave me the details on these.
that would be helpful, or else we're
No, apparently he did.
okay. That's good. Well, our first image, it looks like some sort of locket. Has a picture of a woman,
Is that a
presumably,
woman?
or perhaps a non-binary type person within it. And yeah,
I think it's fair to say, yeah, you're right. Woman or non-binary, you're there. You're
or
there.
just a very effeminate man. It's fine.
True. I love the black and white and all the hash work.
Oh, the hash
on
work is
this.
gorgeous.
That's always one of my, one of the things I like about the black and white art is always the hashing and the sort of the way that they make, like you can tell that I don't think those are gloves. I think you can see fingernails. You can tell it's
Yeah.
sort of maybe a darker room. There is some light highlights, but the light and dark I always really like in
Yeah,
this sort of thing.
Yeah. It's nice to get kind of an idea of the shadow and the complexity and short of like making actual fingerprints, the hash marks kind
Yeah.
of act like fingerprints already.
No, absolutely.
So it is very, very beautiful drawing.
Do you think a locket is cliche? Chat, if you're in chat right now and you think lockets in D&D are cliche or in any kind of story is sort of cliche, let us know in chat. I don't think a locket is cliche.
It may be cliche, but I think it's cliche to the point of actually being relevant because, I mean, maybe not nowadays because people are like, look at all the pictures of my dog on my phone. But before, like when photography wasn't really a thing and, you had these hand-painted portraits and whatever, like having a picture of a loved one or a relative that you really care about in a locket, like I think that's it's beautiful. It's
now instead of an iPhone, I want an iLocket.
I want an eye locket and it's just
Yeah.
pictures. Okay, well, I'll tell you what you can do, old man rolling dice. You can go into the album on your phone
Yes.
and just rename it to Locket, and then you're
I'll
good.
I'll do that. So this picture, we don't have a name for it, but we've just entitled it Locket. It comes from the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition box set, Night Below, which is a great box set. It takes you into the Underdark. You fight like Kuatoa, you fight Aboleth, you fight like I think there might be some dark elves in it, but it really focuses on some of the other races like mind flayers and things like that.
Yeah.
It came out in 95, so right in the heart of second edition, and the artist is Arnie Swekel, Swekel.
I think we've had something.
Have we had?
I think so, because the signature is familiar.
The signature's familiar?
Yeah.
Yes.
And Swekel, I mean,
not an easy name to forget.
No.
Not an easy name to forget.
not at all.
So yeah, I like this, and I don't think lockets are like.
I don't think
maybe
so.
Maybe the story could be we're looking for this person, or maybe we're going to avenge the death of this person.
It could be a player's token.
Yeah.
A trinket. Like, you have all the trinket tables now, especially in like 5e. I don't know if they were really relevant in previous editions, but there are so many trinket tables. A new module comes out, trinket table, and it's like, yes, stuff.
And when you're making your 0 level DCC character, they have lots of tables with random items given to you too. So a locket could sneak in there for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like it. What do we have next?
Our next one is a little freaky deaky.
It's freaky?
It's freaky. It's like the headdress reminds me of like a superhero or something, but like the boys superheroes, not
The boys, yeah. A
and
little edgy.
yeah. And then you have like this sort of necrosis going on the forearm.
Is that necrosis? I think he's got something strapped to his forearm, maybe.
I don't know. I think that's not.
This kind of screams cultist to me.
Yeah.
Like, this person is not following a mainstream religion.
No. And they've got the two fingers kind of like bandaged.
Yeah,
and, like,
tied together.
Kind of like it makes it almost like amphibian, like an amphibious.
Drinky Crow says that person is a warlock who has the power to control anyone they meet with their eyes, but they're trapped. But they're trapped. This is from the locket picture, but they're trapped in the locket.
Oh, okay.
No, I like that.
I think
it would be interesting if a warlock carried around a locket of their patron.
I mean, I will say the character of a warlock that I have in my Monday night games, their patron is actually the person that they love the most. So I don't see that being an issue. I have zoomed in on the weird arm thing, though.
Yeah. There's something strapped there. On a side note about warlocks, I've always wanted to play a warlock whose patron is the player. In other words, they understand the meta.
Yeah.
They know that they're in a game.
So you want to play Deadpool?
Yeah, maybe.
I would like to play a warlock with a paladin PC, like another PC, and the paladin is the warlock's patron, and the patron or the god for the paladin is the warlock. So they like have the symbiosis cycling power.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Find the other player to play with you.
I'm sure that'll be easy.
Okay, so this one comes from 1991. It's by a real famous D&D artist named Braum. Again, second edition, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Specifically, though, this is from the Dark Sun box set. And this wizard is this picture is called Defiler, and Defiler wizards steal their spell energies from the lands around them. Like, when he casts a spell, all the land around him would turn to ash. All the living plant life, everything to ash. Dark Sun is a really sort of hardcore, gritty, apocalyptic role-playing game, and Defiler is one of the classes. So that's where that picture is coming from. And Braum designed he did the majority of the art for the Dark Sun box set, the Dark Sun setting, and he does some gorgeous pieces, but this is one of his simpler sort of line pieces, and I really like it.
I like it too. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to disagree that it's something strapped to the arm. That is the arm, like it is, because if you look at it, there's no sleeve on what he's wearing.
Fair enough.
And you have this sort of like inset where the skin is starting to tear away. So there is something like coming out and like pushing away at the arm.
And it's been mended back together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
It's
I'm
gross.
down. I'm down for it.
It's
I think there's and those are clearly bones around him. Or something. Yeah. No, I like it. That's great.
Yeah. The next image, it almost kind of like flows really naturally into this one because you
Okay.
have this sort of dude standing in front of a labyrinth, and he looks kind of creepy.
He looks very creepy, doesn't he?
So like we're going for
Maybe
total
it's
creep factor.
maybe it's the same. Maybe it's the same guy. You know? Maybe.
Well, he does have his arms chained together, so maybe he just like chewed through his arm, Saw style.
Yeah. There's a lot going on in this picture, so it'll be interesting to see what the guests come up with. A hedge maze or a labyrinth is always a cool idea for any kind of adventure, if you ask me. There's little faces in the labyrinth. Do you see that on the walls?
Yep.
I don't know what that's about. There's a sundial just before you enter the labyrinth. Maybe this isn't the entrance to the labyrinth. Maybe this is the center of the labyrinth that we're looking at.
I'm getting the vibe that it's more the center.
You think so?
I think so, yeah. And then you got like butts.
Butts?
Yep.
I've lost you. Where are their butt? Oh, the lions' butts. If those are lions, if those are truly lions.
I'm feeling more of a sphinx vibe without the wings.
So Plush Viking says freeing this dude is the only way through. I like that. Drinky Crow says the dude with the book is a riddle master, and each face in the maze gives you a clue. I really like that.
That's pretty cool.
I like the idea that if the faces in the maze can talk to you in some way. Like
Yeah.
maybe these are people that have been lost to the maze previously.
sure.
Who knows? Who knows?
Like-
Have you ever run a maze?
No. The most I
tricky-
have is
they're tricky to
Organized
do.
Chaos, which is just a 200 room dungeon that you can go wherever you want.
Yeah. To get sort of the maze feeling is tricky, especially with mapping. Like, how can you really get lost in the maze if you're mapping the maze? Unless the maze sort of changes and things like that.
You can still, like, depending on the program you're using, if you're playing online, I think that would be the main caveat. But if you're playing online, you can block out walls and stuff. So it would be like they are blinded to all those corners. They wouldn't be able to see the full
I see what you're
overview.
saying.
But
I see.
playing in person, if you have like an actual physical map,
Yeah.
you'd have to have a lot of like blockers. You know what I mean?
I recently did a labyrinth, and I watch a guy over on YouTube, Professor Dungeon Master, who abstracts the maze, so you don't actually have to draw all the walls and that. You just you make checks to see if your characters are sort of navigating.
Oh, okay.
And then he suggests adding a disorientation effect, so party members get separated if their dice rolls are off. And I tried that in my last DCC game actually, and it worked very well. So there's lots of different ways to run a labyrinth, but I think just to start drawing, hey, it goes 20 feet here and turns to the left, hey, it goes 20 feet there and turns to the right, I think that gets a little boring quickly. I think if you're going to do a labyrinth, you need to spice it up a little bit. There needs to be an alternate mechanic for getting lost other than just drawing it out.
Just go the way. I mean, you can also make it as deadly as you want by having like pit traps and, oozes and puddings and stuff like that, just kind of wherever. And I think with this one in particular, like with the faces in the hedges, I'm getting the vibe of Harry Potter and the Triwizard Cup. When they're in the hedge maze, they kind of get
what you're talking about.
The hedge maze is actually part of the attack.
Yeah.
Or, the routes change, like you said.
Yeah, that is good. Both Plush Viking and Drinky Crow have mentioned in chat here not to draw the map, to give the graph paper over to the players and have them draw based off of your description, which I think is good, but it inevitably breaks down to the player holding it up and going, does this look right? I mean, and then you have to be the neutral DM and go like, I can't help you with that. That's
tell me, how do you feel about your map?
Yeah, that's all you. And then keep yours behind the screen and track them. No, for sure. I like that the two creatures here that we are assuming are lions, we can't actually see them, so they could be anything. I'm
just going from like the hair, the sort of dreadlocks. I'm thinking they have people faces.
So this drawing comes from Hedge Maze. It's called Hedge Maze, and it's from Neil Gaiman's Endless Destiny. Neil Gaiman, by the way, have you watched any of the Sandman? I like it. I know it's getting a lot of hate out there, but I like it. The artist, I'm not going to be able to pronounce this. I will put it over in chat though. For the art, the last name is Alcantina, but the artist name, I'm going to put that in chat. And yeah, again, it's black and white. It's got a lot of things going on. It'll be interesting to see what people do with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm
For sure.
interested for sure.
So shall we start bothering players now?
Yeah, let's bug them.
Who you want to start with?
Artemis.
Artemis. We're gonna start at the top.
I saw
Did you
that
see-
look. Hi. Hi, we're bothering you. Hello.
Can you?
I
Could you hear us?
no,
'Cause
I
you
turned you
gave-
guys all the way off.
You gave the dirtiest look at. I think it
You
was at Aphi,
did.
not at me.
I
I
said
don't-
we're gonna bother Artemis, and then you got the. I don't even know
Yeah.
if you
Oh,
heard me or not.
No,
I-
I didn't. I can't hear you. I turned you all the way off. So I
I'm
just happened to look up at that moment.
I'm gonna clip it and hope that I get it because
Yeah.
oh man, it was a good dirty
It was
look.
a good one.
I'm
So
sorry.
is there a picture that sort of started your story?
Yeah, I started with the locket with the face on it.
That was the starting point for you?
Yep.
So I asked this question to chat and I don't know if you heard me, but I asked, do you think the locket is that cliche? Is it sort of like overdone?
No.
No? You think it still tracks? It's legit?
Yeah. I mean, I'm one of those people that like if you want to start in a tavern, go for it. Like go. Do you?
Yeah.
So,
No, I still love a tavern start. In fact, I find that the tavern was done so much previously that people now don't do it. And then I'm like, I'd really like to just start in a tavern.
That's valid.
You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Is that valid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like how
Is there-
everything old is new again.
Yeah.
yeah, kind of.
Yeah. I'm new. Is there any picture that's not really working for you? That you're like, I don't know what to do with this one.
Only one that I'm not real sure about is the dude with the weird hands, but I kind of have an idea for him.
Okay.
The,
So,
okay.
the like taped fingers.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
break a finger, sometimes they do that, don't they? If you break a
They do
finger,
that with toes too. I have.
But
learned the
his
hard way.
fingers look too long. Like the taping aside and how he's holding them aside, they look too long for his body.
I don't disagree with you, but he's a wizard, so
Yeah.
you know, maybe he's a wizard, maybe he's something else. I think wizards are allowed to have long fingers. Okay, Artemis, keep doing you.
Okay. Bye.
Matt, can you hear us?
I can. I
Can you?
turned my
Great.
sound back on because I was waiting.
Cool. Is there a
You guys
picture?
tell me.
Is there a picture that sort of got the ball rolling for you?
I had a story. It kind of immediately came to me with all four of them. The one that I was having trouble with is the guy with the fingers because he looks out of place in the story that came together in my mind for
Mhm.
the other four. So the other four weren't a problem, but that guy was a little bit of a problem. Maybe because it's older school art.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I like that we sometimes throw a curveball with one or two of the pictures. So, yeah. But which picture? Can I? So he's the one that was the problem. Was there one that you immediately got drawn to though that sort of put the other ones with it? Like, what was it that sort of combined them?
I looked at the first one of the pink slime
Yep.
slug creature and immediately got an idea and started developing a story around
Cool.
that one.
Cool.
And so the next one with the little things in the water immediately connected to that for me. Then that brought me to the beginning with the locket, and then the labyrinth is going to be in the middle.
Excellent.
I addressed them one at a time.
Excellent. No, that's perfect. That's perfect. Well, we'll let you get back to it. How are we for time, Aphi?
I got just a little over 12 minutes left.
Okay, so you got time left.
Okay.
Continue, Matt. Now, can we get Alphinius's attention?
I don't know. Depends on if he's listening or not.
Who
I think he
I?
is.
Who
Who I?
to be present for a moment for my friends. I am working right now. You are disturbing the few brain
We're sorry.
cells that I
We're
have
sorry.
left.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
We are simple servants sent to get your ideas. Is there
Is
a
this
picture that-
this music? Is this music that I am playing? Are you picking that up? Is it disturbing?
Nope. Can't even hear it.
No.
Okay,
Along that lines, when you're prepping an adventure, do you use music? Is that part of?
I do. Yes, I do.
I do too.
but I love instrumentals. I wish you could hear this music. I wish you could hear what I'm playing right now. Unfortunately, I got this this system so that it mutes those kinds of things. But it is a marvelous cello piece.
Excellent.
It's called Deep Cello Meditation, and it's done by Green Red Productions. I love.
Okay.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Is there a picture that kind of got the ball rolling for you?
Well, I love a tale, right? I love a tale, and so for me, it is the locket, and we'll explore that later. But yes, that is where the tail should
Is there
begin.
one that's having trouble fitting into the tail?
No, it would be fine.
Of course not.
Everything is done here. How much time do we have left for Alphinius?
11 minutes.
11 minutes.
I better get busy.
Yeah,
okay.
you should.
You do it.
Bye, my friends. Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right.
Okay.
So speaking of tails, we got one here, and it is gross.
It is gross?
It is gross. I don't know what this is. It's got like purple worm vibes.
Yes, it does. It
but
does.
I don't think that's actually what it is.
No, it's not.
It feels more like leechy, like a leech.
Mm-hmm.
And you got this sort of sluggy in the foreground.
Roll with this. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Do the eyes remind you of anything?
Yeah, but I can't place it. Like, I feel. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of the mental images I get.
Can I ask? Does slapping the head, does that get the ideas rolling?
Yes, sometimes. Like just a little pat on the noodle.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta like shake it out of there.
Let's talk about this. So this picture is called the Blood Queen.
Okay.
And this is from the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Night Below box set, also where the locket came from.
Mm-hmm.
And again, published in '95. So this is sort of like an aboleth. What's the word I'm looking for? An aboleth blood god.
Okay. I mean, the multi-eye thing, that I always relate that to gods.
Those 3 eyes are definitely aboleth.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay. Like, if you look at the aboleth artwork, the stacked eyes like that are regulars. I love that it has those 4 little, like, snail-like things coming out of the
like
side.
the sniffers that they have.
Yeah.
I like the rocks down the back, like the sort of gemstones down the back.
Like something that's lived underground a very long time, just like something under the sea gains barnacles and things like that.
Yeah.
This thing has gained some sort of a crystal or rock-like growth. Yeah, I like that. Dice Station Zebra says it looks like it could be an undersea creature. I totally agree with that.
Absolutely.
I think it definitely has an aquatic, like I would expect if this is a lake of blood that it's in, it certainly looks like it can dive right in there.
You know what I'm vibing with? I'll tell you what I'm vibing with.
What are you vibing with?
This is the product of a science experiment that was on a mind flayer ship when it crashed into the ocean.
I like that.
And it's somehow
mind flayers are great for being
experimenters. I love mind flayers, right? Great.
The blood is sort of disconcerting, and I feel the grossest part of this creature is actually the edge of its underside.
Yeah, it's almost
red.
like silica.
Yes. I'm just like,
it's disconcerting.
It's disconcerting.
It's like just rows and rows of hemorrhoids.
What scale would you use for this?
Oh, this has got to be huge or larger.
Yeah, this is massive, right?
Yeah, this is massive. This is a big boy who has had. I mean, boy isn't BOI, like just big honker.
I wasn't calling you out on anything. Settle down. Yeah, a big honker. Yes, I like that. And I like that we're given the fact that obviously we're underground here, like you can see in the green lighting. I like that. And if this thing is like, is this a regular aboleth in the foreground? I don't know. Or is that a baby aboleth? Maybe it's
the offspring of this creature and something it's bred with.
Yes. Yeah. Every time there's a big like mama creature with things, I immediately think back to Alien. Aliens, actually.
Yeah.
Aliens. I immediately go there with the mud. Let's see. I thought the edges.
The edges, like, they're just so disturbing.
Yeah. Drinky Crow is mentioning like octopus suction cups and that. I totally think
yeah.
I don't even want to see what the underneath of this thing looks like.
Okay, but if you had to, how would you describe it?
No, I don't even want to go. I don't think I'm allowed to go there because we have to keep our PG rating.
Yeah,
but yeah, it would be nasty under there. It would be nasty.
Like,
and a lot of blood.
A lot of blood, for sure. Like, anybody who's going under that thing is coming out covered in blood.
Yeah. And mucus.
And mucus.
All aboleths
slime.
excrete that slime that change.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nasty.
You know what I think it is about the rim? It has like the texture and sort of the shine of a raspberry.
Oh yeah.
But it's attached to this like skin flap.
Yeah. Oh, it's gross.
Oh, it's so gross.
It's a beautiful piece of art because
it's great.
Plush Viking goes starfish mouth underneath. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Starfish mouth is the perfect descriptor.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do our last one, which there is kind of a connection between this and the next piece.
Yeah. So this one, I have a thing about like eyeballs.
Yeah.
I'm okay with this because it's not the actual like removal of the eyeball or anything. It's just an eyeball that is there. Or I don't know.
I don't think those are eyeballs though.
I know, but when I first looked at it, I went eyeball. It's probably more like an egg.
It does look very egg-like. Like it has a yolk.
Yeah, it looks like a sunny side up egg.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And the one that's attaching to our character here, there's definitely a wound happening there.
Yeah, some sort of poison effect or something. Just something getting into the bloodstream there for sure.
I mean, and what I like about this picture is like, how many times have characters, waded through water in a dungeon or something, and then imagine these things just floating, sort of transparent on the surface. Eesh.
So what if the red part isn't red until light is shown on it? So people with like night vision or whatever wouldn't see it. It would be like transparent on the water surface. But then that one character that took a character that doesn't have night vision.
Yes. Yeah, I like that.
Gotta light a lantern. Gotta light a torch. Gotta use the light spell.
Viking says maybe this is the tadpole stage of that previous monster. I like that idea. Maybe that previous monster puts these all out into the water. So what we're looking at here, these are actually called blood bloaters. And they're from 3rd edition Dungeons and Dragons. They're from the Fiend Folio. And the artist is Sam Wood. Sam Wood has done all kinds of art for Wizards of the Coast, both Magic cards and Dungeons and Dragons. I like that it comes from Fiend Folio because Fiend Folios sort of have the tradition of being some darker, some scarier monsters. And the fact that they're called blood bloaters, like now I'm thinking they're transparent until they get a bit of blood in them, and then they get that, that's what's in the center.
Yeah, so these babies have had a good drink.
It's creepy. It would be interesting to see if our guests didn't focus so much on the blood bloaters and maybe focused on, is this an elf with a wand?
Kind of looks like it, or a druid at least.
The wand could be what we're after here, and the blood bloaters are just sort of an extra thing, but like you could utilize other parts of the picture. Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm feeling like they have a mosquito bite. So this whole time, the adventurers have been wading through the water, taking 1 point of damage here and there, and not knowing why, because like their perception is so low, or they didn't investigate or whatever. And then all of a sudden somebody turns on a light and there's these things floating around that all have these little blood egg.
Your idea of playing with dark vision that way, I think, is really good. Like, people rely on dark vision so much, and what if dark vision can't see certain things?
Well, it's only in grayscale, right? So
That's right. So if something like this that's translucent, maybe they don't even pick up in the dark. And like you said, taking a point of damage here, taking a point of damage here. They finally turn the light on, and there's these things floating all over the surface of the water. Oh, how great would that be?
Totally
for a
not
scene?
gonna put that in my campaign the next time that people are. Just put that down there.
Yeah, yeah.
Blood.
I'll even
Maze.
send you the stat block. I have this book. This is
Awesome.
not one that's lost me. Well, that's great. I can't wait to see
Ooh.
what everybody does with them.
I like what Plush has said, that they would be harder to see as they get hungrier. So the less frequent somebody may wade through this water or swamp or whatever, they become more and more translucent and they blend more and more into the water.
Yeah.
Maybe they even get smaller, so it doesn't even feel like
yeah.
anything when you're wading through it.
I
And
really
then
like
they bite.
Jason has just brought up the Stand By Me leech scene.
Thanks. Horrified. Yep.
Which is a great movie scene. And I think everybody, if you can somehow like parallel the scene with what's going on in your adventure, I think that's perfect. People would. Okay, well, I think we're done. Have we run out of time?
No, they got a minute.
They got a minute?
They got a minute to survive. We'll
give them that minute. I'm just going to dwell on this Stand By Me thing for a moment. Then I thought we didn't have time, but I love anytime your adventure can sort of have a point of pop reference.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know how pop Stand By Me is anymore. It's an older movie. For my generation, we all know the Will Wheaton scene from Stand By Me.
For mine, I would say it's like a nostalgia thing. Stand By Me would be.
Yeah.
So I think it would still be referable to people of my age and maybe a little younger.
Yeah, I would like to think Stand By
your
Me.
children, I don't think so.
No. Like a 10 to 15-year-old player is not getting the Stand By Me reference. But I would like to believe that 30, 40s and beyond.
Yeah.
Would get the Stand By Me reference.
I feel like you would have to, if you wanted more pop culture references for the younger crowd, it would have to be more popular things like Marvel movies, Star Wars.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Indiana Jones, that sort of thing.
There you go.
They probably saw
Agni did not get the reference. Agni did not get the reference.
Agni doesn't count because he doesn't get modern references.
Agni doesn't watch movies.
No, he doesn't. Also,
so
the time's up.
We shun him. We shun him.
Agni.
He is shunned.
Yeah.
Okay. Is everyone done prepping? Artemis feels like
Artemis is super intense.
Hands up. Artemis is getting an extra minute. That's cheating.
Artemis.
Every
She's
time
the stand-in, you have to give her an extra break,
That's 2 dirty looks you've flashed. We're counting. We're gonna play them back for you, and you're gonna be like, "Oh boy."
I feel attacked.
When I concentrate really hard, I make faces.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do. We can attest to that.
Yeah, the whole internet can attest to that. I've done this twice now.
Hey, now that we're done, chat brought up the picture with the floaty things in the water. The chat brought up that it had a sort of a Stand By Me leech scene feel to it.
Gross, dude, gross.
Okay, but do we all think? Like, I love when you can tie in a movie reference or a television reference for your players, because then they can identify it. But do we think Stand By Me is just too old a movie?
No, because I know what that is.
Well, not for me, but
not for me either.
Yeah.
Not for me either.
I would get it. You're gonna love my story then, because I've got all kinds of movie references.
Oh, good. All right. So what we do now is we're gonna roll a D12, because I have always felt that the D12 is kind of the left out dice of the dice family. Like, it does not get, the D12 doesn't get enough love. After sort of, there was a time where longswords did a D12 damage to large creatures, and everybody loved their D12s. But now I feel like the D12 doesn't get the same kind of love. So we're gonna roll a D12. And Aphi, how's the number split going?
1 to 4 is Artemis.
Okay.
5 to 8 is Matt. 9 to 12 is Elfini.
Okay.
And are you okay
we're
with that?
using. Yeah, I'm fine with that. But I get messed up on
I know
these
you
numbers.
do.
So let's, because 9, as I've said this, I think I say this every show.
I know.
The 9 to 12 doesn't sound right to me.
9, 10, 11.
To me,
12.
that's 3. I know.
I did my nails today, so that's really just why I'm gesticulating so much.
My God. And a $10 word, no less. A $10 word. Okay.
Gesticulate is a word I use quite frequently.
Roll the dice, and we will see who gets the You rolled a 5.
Matt goes first.
Matt goes first. Are you
All right.
ready for that, Matt?
I am ready.
Okay, let's do it. Let's sit
All
back
right.
and listen to Matt's tale.
So every time me and my family play Clue, whenever we think we know what the answer is, the 3 cards in the middle, we always start it off with like, it was a dark and stormy night. And, we make a story out of the 3 cards that we think are in there. So I'm going to give you guys the Clue intro. It was a dark and stormy night. Upon completing their previous adventure, the party sits at the tavern table far in the back corner to sort through their loot. Inside, as they're sorting out the treasure, they discover the locket, ringed in gold with little gold nugget inlays around the face. One character decides to take it, and as they take it, they're deciding on selling it, maybe getting it appraised or whatnot, seeing it's magical. The little ring on the locket's finger, I don't know if you guys saw that, right about at like the 6 o'clock line, it keeps sparkling. Even though it's a picture, you can touch it, and it keeps sparkling and catching the attention of the person who owns it. Over time, mesmerizing them, almost hypnotizing them, until they can see the image begin talking to them. So the face comes to life. No one else can see it. All the other players think this player is losing their mind. Like, did you hear that? Did you hear that? She just said that. She just said something to me. They're freaking out. But anyway, they can't get rid of it. It becomes attached to them. Eventually, she says she needs to be freed. She's trapped within the locket, suffering. She needs to be reconnected with her body. And essentially, like a geese spell, she places this quest upon the player. So, he says, whether they believe the player or not, she or they, he talks the rest of the party into going on this quest for loot, magic, grand knowledge, whatever Orlindra Prontis has promised them. That is the name of the woman in the locket.
That's fantastic.
So, that was just the first picture. She doesn't know where her body is. She can only tell them a direction. So she directs the PCs to the next town over, which is her last known contact, a construct that she created named Sinstress, who is the guy with like the axe head. So Sinstress has no eyes. He's like a golem essentially. So he really can't communicate or anything like that except point and stuff like that. Now I want you to look at that thing wrapped around his arm though, because that is like a bangle or a bracer, one attached to the top and front. And wherever he places that on his body, he can split his body apart and then reconnect it. So that's like a magic item, and so to attack, he places it around his neck, and he can dislodge his neck and throw his axe head, right?
I'm here for this.
I couldn't figure out why his 2 fingers were bound, but whatever. That I was concentrating on the magic item on his arm right there. I came up with like a funny story. They shake his hand when they meet him. He like extends his hand, and they like accidentally pull the arm off, and they can see that the bangle like separates the arm, and then he grabs it and like reconnects it. But anyway, Sinstress leads them to the labyrinth of let's see, where's my name here? Sequinestra. No, actually, he leads them to the labyrinth of fur children. And so then we go to the labyrinth picture. He takes them through the labyrinth, telling them his mistress's body is located at the center of the labyrinth. That's the direction that the person is always also getting directions from the locket to. It's this way. Once they arrive at the center, so you can see all those little faces in the bushes right there.
Yep.
And the fir trees that are sticking up. So that's why it's called the Labyrinth of the Fur Children. The children are lost in the bushes. As they're going through, the faces are talking to them. They're screaming out for help. They're wailing, they're crying, they're cursing, they're spitting, they're telling lies, they're telling truths. All kinds of things are happening to this labyrinth with all these faces going through it. But once they get to the center, if you bring up that picture one more time, it looks almost unfinished. Like the dais that he's standing on it's not as detailed as the rest of the art. The two lions in front of him, they have almost no detail, and it almost stands out against all the other pictures. So I made that an illusion. He cannot come off that dais, and any attacks or anything go right through him. So he's considered an illusion. There's a little sundial right there. If they move the sundial to eventually the point of 6 o'clock, which is the mark of the ring on the locket, it changes time not in this plane, but in the plane of Sequenestra. And so that's the plane of stolen children. Hence the faces that are in the maze. They're not really there, they're in between planes. And so, trying to get it all out quick enough for everyone else.
That's
okay.
Take up
too much time. So when I come up with names, I like to Google, so I looked up kidnapped and how to say it in Spanish, and that's where I came up with Sequenestra.
I like it.
I pick a different language like Italian or German or something like that, and then I'll look up the word and then just alter it a little bit. So anyway, if they finally figure out that the sundial needs to be placed on 6 o'clock, every time they move the sundial, it changes time in the other plane, not on their plane. But if they get it to the point where it's 6 o'clock, that is that point when the illusion of the platform he's on will become solid. They'll have to defeat him. He has various abilities and powers, a warrior. So he's got a D die. So this would be like level 2-3 adventure. So in DCC, the fighters and warriors get a D die. And for his D die, he would always try to use it defensively, so their attack hits the chains. And after taking X amount of hit points of damage, the chains will break. And if they kill him before the chains happen, good on them. But if the chains break, he doubles in power, heals, comes back. And he's twice as hard to beat as if the chains did not break. He's temporarily bound to his other plane. But if the chains are broke in this plane, then he's free to, kind of run around this plane and do whatever he wants.
I like that idea.
So, if they defeat him, they cross over into the plane of Sequenestra, spelled with a Q. Very strange landscape, orange sky, purple nights, orange daylight. And the construct the golem leads them to a nearby cave. A couple of various encounters maybe getting there, a couple of various encounters going through the cave. I didn't spend too much time on that. At the end of the cave, once they get down to the bottom, he points to a completely solid rock wall and says his mistress's body lies behind that. Looking at it, it's completely solid. They check it, there's no secret doors, but there are 3 veins of gold, and that would be the eyes on the slug-like creature. So the slug-like creature is encompassing an entire wall of the cavern. And right in that little kind of chalky area, you got those 3 lines that the players think are like gold veins. So if they try to break through the wall or get some of that gold at all, they immediately get surprise attack by the creature, who has an envelop attack. And since you said you had never had any stat blocks on here, I went ahead and wrote one out for us. Let's see here.
I'm seeing it. +4 to hit for the crush.
It might
5d12
be backwards. I did 5d12 because I know that you don't think d12s get enough love, so I made it 5d12 just for extra bonus brownie points.
I promise you won't die.
I make no such promise.
So it's got 5d12 hit points. It's got +4 to hit. It does 1d10 damage. It's got an AC of 18 because it's got that thick slug-like skin and those rocky, protrusions on the top. But it doesn't move very fast. It's got 2 attacks. If it hits, it tries to envelop you and crush you for increased damage on the next hit.
Yep.
If they end up beating that creature, there's nothing behind it, just a rock wall. So the construct still tells them that the body is right there. He says it must be inside the creature. So they have to either go inside the creature, at which point they would all die. They would die, whoever entered the mouth of the creature, or they can cut it open, trying to be smart or figure out how to split it open. But as soon as it splits open, its blood is filled with, it doesn't have blood like we think of, it's got a very watery blood texture, almost like spit or bile. And it just explodes in the bottom part of that cavern, full of 100 little caviar, little babies. which is the last picture. And so it immediately makes that cavern like difficult terrain because they're in like, 3-4 feet of bile, spit, blood, and all these little caviar, little gem-like little babies are swimming around. What's also in there that she's holding up is the keychain that connects to the locket.
Oh.
Okay. And so once the keychain is connected to the locket and they either escape or kill those little creatures, as soon as the keychain is connected to the locket, her body starts to form with the locket wrapped around her head. The woman from the locket, the picture begins to disappear and she begins to take physical form. And this is her plane. She rules it. And so, for better or for worse, they've unleashed the queen of Sequenestra, and she's, probably going to go kidnap some more kids.
That's great.
Love it.
I love when parties unleash bad guys. That's amazing. Very good.
They did help her out, so she'll stick to the terms of the agreement, and then they'll have
for
to
now
any consequences. Right. But they will have an open portal from her plane to the next unless they choose to close it.
I would like her to be my warlock patron.
I love the magic item that you can detach body parts.
Yeah.
There's some players I would not allow to have that, but yeah, I think that's an open-ended magic item with lots of potential. Like you said, the axe head, or
you can just take the hand off and you got a little thing running around. You can grab things.
Yeah. You could leave your head on a shelf and go to the next room and spy.
Exactly.
Yeah, because nobody's gonna notice a decapitated head on a shelf.
Well, put it behind a fern.
Put a shawl on it.
Put it behind a fern or something.
Just put like a daisy in front of it, like a potted daisy. Oh, this is fine.
Yeah.
Nobody will see me.
Thanks, Matt. That was awesome.
All right, well, thank you.
Who's going next, Aphi?
All right.
Indeed, that was great, Matt.
Yeah.
Thanks, sir.
So 1 to 6 is Artemis, and 7 to 12 is Alphinius.
Okay.
I rolled a 3.
Wait, I got one last closing thing.
Oh, go for it.
It was Mrs. Peacock.
Yes.
In the billiard room.
Yes.
With the rope.
And why not?
And why not? Exactly.
Well done. All right,
I did not
Artemis.
play Clue as a kid. Can I just say I did not play Clue as a kid? But now that I have kids of my own, my middle son, he loves board games. We have played the heck out of Clue. There's
a Master Clue game now that I just got for my birthday in June that has like 3 or 4 more characters and like 4 or 5 more rooms.
Oh, really?
Nice.
It's at Barnes and Noble, I think.
I'll have to check that out. That'll make a good gift for him, I think. I'll watch for that. Okay, Artemis.
Oh boy, I have to try and follow that. All right, cool.
We're here for your support.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
You can't go wrong.
All right, so I started my adventure out on, like, the party is in like a coastal town of some kind, and the person that they're like either staying with or one of the people that they're visiting, they sort of wake up or they have nightmares in the middle of the night, because I'm a huge fan of like dream sequences for information, and the person that's having the nightmare, they dream about a long lost love, someone that they knew a long time ago, but they never really knew what happened to them. And the dream doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but you get all these images, and she calls out to you, "Save me, save me." And the person would wake up sort of in a cold sweat, and you realize that the locket is glowing faintly. And so it, depending on which direction you're sort of facing, the glow would change. So it kind of is leading you in a direction where you need to go. And it would lead you to this like big manor house that's up on like a cliffside. And you either would have to like talk your way in or sneak in, because I know my players, they would just break the front door in.
Look, don't you shame murder hobos.
Oh no, I love my murder hobos. They're
we
great.
all need a good murder hobo now and then.
But either way, you have to get in like through the gate or the fence or whatever. You have to get in, so that you can get around sort of to the back side of the house where this big like hedge maze is. And that's sort of where the real adventure begins. The either with permission or without, you find out that you are going to be tested to get through this maze, and you have to prove that you're worthy to get to the other side. You start in that center area where the statue of like death is, where he's holding the book and the two lions, and there would be like a riddle around the base of the pedestal, and I did find one this time.
A riddle?
Yeah.
Oh,
so the riddle.
We didn't talk about this earlier, but Aphi is really good at riddles.
I know. I remember from last time. So that's
let's
why
see
I
if we can
one.
beat her. Well, let's see if we can beat her.
Oh no, she's gonna know this one, I'm sure. So it says, if I drink, I die. If I eat, I'm fine. What am I?
Hold on.
Say it one more time.
If I drink, I die. If I eat, I'm fine. What am I?
Okay, I
Thirst?
think I know it.
Thirst?
I think I know it. But I want Aphi's sort of the queen of riddles, so I don't want to jump on this. Do you know? I think it's fire.
It is. It's fire.
Oh, this is the first one I've ever gotten.
Good job, right?
Ever gotten.
You get inspiration.
Yay! But once you read that, and like once you figure out what the riddle is, you would notice that the two lion statues have oil basins at their feet. And in order to get into the maze, you have to light those basins or the lions wouldn't let you through. And you realize that in those basins, there isn't really a whole lot of oil. So you probably have like a time limit for this maze, which always adds extra stress, which is my favorite. And yeah, kind of, yeah. So
yeah.
if you don't get out before the oil runs out, you become part of the maze, which is why all the little faces are in there.
Nice.
And then as you go through the maze, the faces are either trapped or they have riddles of their own for you, or there's creatures inside the maze, you know, like nothing super bad, but annoying more than anything to slow you down. And once you get through the maze, you find that it comes out overlooking the sea, and there would be a path that leads down the cliffside, and you have to take that down to a cave. And once you're inside that cave, you can see that water does occasionally get in there, like from tide and stuff like that. So again, maybe you have to get in and out as quickly as you can. But you find that there are some old ruins in there that are almost directly underneath the house, where the house is sitting. And as you sort of approach the ruins, you would see that there's a man standing there with his back to you, and that's where I put the sort of weird looking dude with the funny hands. And as he sort of turns around to face you, you can see that his eyes are sort of glowing, and he seems to be possessed maybe or something. And he attacks you. But like sort of in the middle of the battle, you realize that this is the owner of the house above you.
Ah.
Yeah. And you can either save him or kill him, you know, either way. I know my players. And so depending on, you know, how that goes, once you deal with him, you go into the next chamber, and that's where the gross pink thing was. I said that it was like a giant sea slug. I have no idea what it actually is, but it looks like a giant sea slug to me.
No, I think that tracks.
And the chamber is filled, like where that orange stuff on the ground was. Probably don't want to step in that, because I played a long time ago. I played in an adventure where there was an aboleth, and there was water that you couldn't touch or drink or anything like that, because it would do weird stuff to you. So I picture it's kind of like that. And again, fight the thing, destroy it. And then in the final chamber, it's dark, but there's like water on the ground there. And if you walk through it or you turn the light on or anything like that, those weird little egg things come and attack you. Like they're drawn to the light or to noise or anything like that. And on the far side of the chamber, there is a pile of bones, and you find that this is where that long lost love ended up. And once you get to the bones or whatever, their spirit sort of appears and thanks you for finding them and being able to lay them to rest.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that ending. I really like that ending.
Yeah.
Is that the end, or am I jumping
Yeah.
again?
Nope. Yeah, that's the end.
I like that like you're sort of taking the remains back.
Yeah. And
As opposed to them actually being there to see. I like that.
Yeah. And you can tell we're good friends because I thought the egg things, like, they would be attracted to light, or they wouldn't attack until light was shone on them or something too. So
we just play a lot together, I think. Yeah, we got this.
Well, are we rolling for Alphinius?
9.
Well, clearly he got it.
Yeah.
That was marvelous, Artemis. Thank you. That was wonderful. Wonderful,
Thank
wonderful. Yes. So I hope I don't get killed.
Okay.
I took a little bit of a different tack.
I like it. We're here, we like different stuff.
You are Jeremis Omerolin. Your friend Matten Grappenstone. Aphi of the Cool Flame and Artemis Shadowblade. The 4 of you are friends and adventuring companions who have been together for some time. But you carry a secret, a dark memory of a wrong. And so, my friends, we will begin the tale. Luneos has risen high in the sky as you await the messenger in the hall of the Adventurers Guild. You can see the huge white moon from the high window, the 3 dancers orbiting the face. It is late, well past midnight, but it is no matter. You have hoped to receive what is to be brought to you for some time now. It brings a chance to perhaps right the wrong that the 4 of you have wrought. The hall of the Adventurers Guild is empty, save for yourselves. Only the bartender, an old wizened dwarf named Mugen, remains. The light in the room comes from flickering candles that cast dim light and dancing shadows on the walls. The table you sit at has an empty chair, a ceremony you have carried forth for some time now. A filled tankard sits on the table before the chair, also part of the ceremony. Suddenly the door creaks open and a bent human cloaked in a hood enters the room. He limps as he approaches your table. "Even lads, I be nursing, and I be bringing what ye seek. But it be a dangerous thing, not to be trifled with. Lives lost in the finding." He reaches into his cloak and pulls out a locket. He hands it to Aphi. With a stiff bow, he says, "Open it, milady. 'Tis yours to do." What do you do?
I
Aphi?
open it.
The locket opens, revealing an image of a lady who looks much like Aphi. Why don't you, who's sitting next to you, Aphi? Which one of these 4, the 3 is sitting next to you?
I think I'd probably be sitting between Jer and Artemis.
Why don't the 2 of you then, both of you roll a perception roll, and you do the same, Aphi. Will you do that?
Oh, God.
5.
Oh, 11.
Just okay. What about you other 2?
I only got a 5.
And Artemis?
I got a 14.
Artemis, you look and you see that at the edge, it looks like the actual the disc that has the image of Aphi engraved upon it looks like it might be able to be removed.
Hey, you can take that out of there.
Pop it out.
You remove it and note on the back that there is a picture of a man, a friend, perhaps more than a friend, one who is lost.
Oh my.
But more than this, behind the image is a thin, glowing piece of glass covered in runes. In the center is a word, one you know you must speak, but you fear to speak it. Graavis. What do you do?
I say it.
Say it
Of course
then.
you do. Of course you do.
Of course I do. I
Say
am
it
the player
then.
that pushes the red button.
Yes, you are.
Gravis.
I love it. Say it then.
Gravis.
The room diffuses into darkness and shadow, and you find yourself standing suddenly in the bright light of the sewer. A tall human with gray skin, wearing robes of red, stands before you. Beyond him is a maze made of strange-looking bushes that are covered in red leaves. They drip a viscous substance. He looks at you and says, "Welcome. Tell me who you are."
Aphi of the Cool Flame?
Welcome, Aphi of the Cool Flame.
It's so much
And you?
cooler than I do.
And you, who are you, dwarf?
The dwarf.
Am I the
Greppenstone.
dwarf? Am I the dwarf?
Yes, be the dwarf.
What was my name again?
Mathan Greppenstone. Take notes.
I wrote mine down.
I wasn't
Damn it.
expecting to be in the story.
Neither was I.
Oh god.
I am Matthew Groppenstone. Who be you?
My name is No Matter,
Okay, no matter.
but I will tell you what you seek, for I know that you seek it. The walls of red hide fearful lies. Turn wrongly, and what lives shall die. Beware the things that dwell within. To right the wrong, absolve your sin. For long ago you tempted fate, and then discovered horrid hate. What shall you do now? What shall be your roles? Shall you run, or shall you lose your souls? He turns to the side and ushers a hand out, as if to beckon you to enter the maze.
Well, I mean, like, my
What do
soul's
you-
already in the Tomb of Horrors, so I'm good.
Look what you've done. Look what you've done.
Well,
So we're going.
So, my
I feel
friend.
like we're in.
you step forward. The maze is impossibly tall when you enter. The dripping leaves drop a viscous red substance upon the ground that pools at your feet. You hear whispers in your mind, the scream of the one you lost begging to be freed. Now, I must tell you that at this point in time, there would be a number of things that would happen as you traverse the maze. But in the interest of time, and because I only had a half an hour, I need to give a little bit of what do we call fast forward here.
And
But
waving.
there would be. Are you okay with that, Aphi? I know you are the GM here, so.
A music montage?
It's
so
the
you would.
final
A number of
countdown.
things would happen in this maze as you traversed it, and things you would find, and there would be discoveries, which would lead to clues, which would lead to actually how to get through the maze. But eventually, you would come to a pool with one exit and one entrance back to the maze at the other side that you must pass through, you must wade to get therein. And there would have been clues to tell you that there were certain things that you might do to avoid being attacked by the strange creatures that are these amorphic creatures that live within the lake. And because I am a kind game master, I will allow you to have achieved those things so you do not have to deal with the horrible damage that might have come your way. Is that all right?
I'm totally okay with that.
I accept your benevolence.
Thank you.
You wade through the waters, using the potion and the wand as you noted in the things that you needed to find to enable you to cross the pool. At the other side, you have an exit that continues into what appears to be the maze, but there is no more turns or twists. It just goes straight down as if it is a long hall with a door at the end. My friends, do you continue?
Yeah.
Of course.
We have to go to the bane of all D&D parties, the door.
Yep.
Send the dwarf in. Send the dwarf in.
Yeah, dwarf, go.
Artemis,
The
check
dwarf
the
goes
door for
first.
traps
Wait, you have a
first.
rogue. You have Artemis of the Shadow Blade. Yes, something like that. Yes, it's a rogue.
Yep.
Send in the rogue.
Go,
The
rogue.
door traps.
Great. I go to the door.
Pat on the butt.
You
go.
move down the hall and you reach the door, and as you get there, suddenly standing before you is a figure that is awesome. Tall, with a jester's hat and a smiling visage, who looks at you and says, "Hello, I am Jinx, the god of jests. And you seek to right the wrong that you caused, do you not?
Uh-huh.
Well, will you pass beyond the portal then? You have passed the maze of fate. Now, by Kismia's favor, you must slay the thing that you brought into being with your sin. It lies beyond the door, but it is a fearful thing. Do you dare answer? Do you dare enter?"
I dare.
I'm pretty sure this was Aphi's fault. I'm out.
Yeah, the whole time I'm just going, God, what did they do?
I don't know what I did.
Well, obviously it has to do with that Gravis thing that you said.
Do you open the door?
Go.
Yes.
The door opens, revealing an enormous cavern. In the center is a horrific creature of slime and flesh and menace. You know it. It is that which slayed your friend, your lover, the one you cared for, the one you ran to save yourselves. Now you must face it again, but without 5, only 4. And this, my friends, is where a major combat occurs. The creature attacks you. Yes, it bites you, it spits at you, it throws all manner of disgusting things your way. And hopefully you will prevail. In fact, for this tale, we will say that you did. Is that fair?
Absolutely. We're awesome. Yeah. Without a doubt, we all survived.
We got this.
In a flash, you find yourselves back in the Hall of the Adventurers Guild. The moon, Luneos, seemingly has not moved. The dwarf comes over to your table. "Last call, lords. What might I get you?"
A bottle? Just a whole bottle.
"It be my pleasure."
Yep. That 4 of those.
He
Just
goes back
3.
to the...
None for me. I've given up drinking after the events of tonight.
That is
I'm
not
starting.
possible. But the dwarf looks at the dwarf and says, "Are you kidding me?" I almost use a curse word right there.
You don't know what we've been
Are you
through.
kidding me?
Gonna make you chop off your beard.
You look to your left, and sitting at the table is a friend long lost, now returned. Goodman winks at you and tips his hat. He then picks up the tankard and takes a long drink. "So, me friends, what be our next adventure? I be looking forward to it." And so the tale begins.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
That was so
amazing.
good.
So
Oh
glad
my
I didn't have
God.
to follow that.
I will henceforth be named Aphi of the Cool Flame, and I will not accept any other titles. Thank you. Thank
I
you for
love
coming to
it.
my TED Talk.
That was great. That was great. Thank you,
so
everyone.
good.
Those were all good. They're all good. During the break, when we were asking everybody sort of like what picture started it for them, Alphinius mentioned that he was listening to music, and I think that this is maybe something we could just have a quick chat about. When we're prepping, is music an inspiration? Do we listen to it while we design our one shots and our campaigns, or is that not a source of inspiration?
I listen to music until I get distracted. I'm easily distracted though, which is why it's taken me, 2 years to get the second module out, because I want to play games. I want to run the server. I want to go to social media and do it on Facebook, and I get all these other ideas. Like whenever I get an idea, I text my son so I don't forget, because I'll have another idea. So he gets all kinds of crazy texts from me. So I start out with music. But then I'll start singing the songs, and I'll be thinking of the songs instead of what I'm supposed to be doing. So then I got to cut it off.
That's great. I don't text my son, but I do have like all kinds of notes in my little notepad on my phone. And then when I come back to them, they're not always like, they make no sense to, like, some of them I've just lost the line of logic that was there. But how about you, Artemis? You use music? I saw you nodding. So.
Yes, my campaign that I run on Friday nights, the Fixies 5, it was actually started because of a song. So,
cool.
Yeah, I was listening to Blizzard had just released all of their new World of Warcraft songs.
Yes.
At that point, when I had heard it, and I heard the song for Jaina Proudmoore, Calling the Ships In, and that sort of led into the campaign that is now my hot mess of a campaign on Friday nights. So
very cool. Very cool. I like that. And Alphinius, you were listening to it was cello, right?
Yes, it was a wonderful cello piece by a group called Green Red Productions. I don't ever listen to anything with words, because like Matt, I can get really off and easily distracted when I'm hearing words. But if I've got kind of sort of melodic music that really, a lot of times, because I like a little grimdark, right? So I like a little more haunting kind of thing. That is absolutely what I love to work to, if you will. It's wonderful. And of course, I love it for the games as well. I use music a lot when we're playing. It's just helps set the mood so much,
Yeah, we've been starting to do that more with I know Aphi does it on her stream, and I do it as well on mine. It's always the trick though on Twitch. Of course, you got to find something that's open source and not yes, copyrighted, so you don't get dinged. But Aphi, I don't think I've ever asked about. Do you use music when you're prepping?
I usually have it on in the background when I'm prepping, or if I'm like sorting out a particular area or whatever. It depends on what I'm doing. Like if it's overall map stuff, it's usually just like heavy metal, whatever, just background noise. But if I'm trying to go for a specific vibe, I'm writing the story for an area or like interactions that could be possible, that's when I'm kind of keying into, do I want spoopy music on? Do I want, like something sad?
Sure.
So I have playlists for all of that.
Chat, if anybody... Sorry, go ahead, Alphinius.
Does words bother you? Are you good with words? Can you write when you're listening to music with lyrics?
I can usually write. It's not loud enough to be like super distracting. It's just sort of on in the background to keep my ADHD at bay. But for the most part, yeah, I'm okay with words. If I'm not feeling music, I'll have riff tracks on.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chat, if anybody out there in chat uses music and you'd like to point us in a direction, drop it in there. I listen to music too. I tend to listen to anything that I listened to in high school. For whatever reason, that takes me back to better times, maybe. I don't know. But and I'm the opposite, where they do have lyrics. I listen to Metallica's Black Album, takes me right back to high school. Nirvana, it Smells Like Teen Spirit, and it's cranked. I actually use the music to deafen out my household. I have 3 kids and a wife, so I just crank and deafen out the household, and then I can write. I don't find that distracting, but at the same time, by the end, I haven't really listened to the music. It's just sort of like
It's there.
Putting me in a headspace. Do you know what I mean?
If it was newer music, like things I hadn't heard before, I'd probably be a little bit more keyed into it. But if it's something like the Black Album that I've listened to a bazillion times, it's just on in the background.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to remember the lyrics.
Metallica fans are gonna watch this and go, these rookies listen to the Black Album.
I mean,
my thing, I don't know why. For me, it's just
all.
I have to have music that takes me back to sort of my D&D roots, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's when I feel I do my best writing. Well,
like, for me, it's the opposite. Like, I can listen to a song and I can think of a scenario that I want that song to be playing in.
Yeah.
So the song becomes an inspiration to me, but I can't. I mean, I can write it down once I'm thinking of it, but if I'm sitting there writing it, I have to have it like dead quiet so I can concentrate on what I'm doing without any distractions. But, you know, I'll hear songs all the time and I'll, you know, get the image of what I want to happen while that song is playing.
Yeah. Now, would you have music at the table when you're gaming, Matt, or no?
If I was technically proficient enough, I would have songs for every single scenario that came up. But I do not have that ability to find all that and make clips. And
I mean, it adds a bunch of extra prep time as well, right? Because now not only are you creating encounters and NPCs and all the rest of it, but you're also trying to score it. Which adds another, you know, time.
Jeremy,
crunch.
if I may, though, honestly, you can get from a number of different sources, right? Either you can actually purchase tracks from a number of different folks, or you can subscribe to a number of different online sources. Yeah. And all you have to do is to pick the 4 or 5 tracks that are going to work. Like, so in the tavern where we began the tale that we just did. The tavern I would have begun with sort of a quiet sort of tavern, maybe a lute or something like that was sort of down melody, right? And then when we met Old Boy, right, the guy with the book, right, the maze keeper, that would have gotten a little more intense. I would have had a little more of an intense thing. Then I always will have a combat track. So all I have to do is just hit the combat track, and it's always pretty much one of 3. And that doesn't bother my players because actually they start liking it, right? Because they've heard it enough times now that it's familiar, right? So I play a couple, 3 different combat tracks when we're in combat. And then I have a couple of other tracks, and all I have to do is have them keyed up ahead of time, and I just hit them. So it really it's not a horrible preparation experience.
Yeah, I guess once you find something that works, you can then just reuse that, right? And when we actually, Aphi and I subscribe to a couple people for our music on our streams. And then at home, of course, when you're at your home game, you have the freedom to play whatever you'd like because you're all just listening, and you don't have to worry about that. So yeah, sometimes I'm with a group of players and they like the music, and I have had groups of players ask me not to play the music or to turn it down to such a level it's not really even there anyway, just because it's a distraction for them. But I mean, to each their own. I like the music. If there's an opportunity to, as you said, like a battle track or something that's low tone for when we're in the tavern, I think those are great. Yeah, really enjoy that. I've also really enjoyed having all of you here tonight.
Me too.
Aphi and I do this every other Wednesday.
Yep.
So the next time we're back, I think, is August the 31st. We have some guests lined up for that.
Gonna be cool.
What's that?
It's gonna be cool.
It is gonna be cool. And then going into September, September's still unfortunately kind of up in the air. I'm back at school and we're trying to figure out scheduling. So hopefully we will continue into September, but for now we just have to wait and see. But we're definitely back in 2 weeks on the 31st.
Can we get a hint of who's going to be on that episode?
Yes. So on that episode, we have Jason, help me out here. From Vintage RPG Podcast, John Hambone is coming on. We have the Pickled Dragon from Instagram. I don't know if Pickled has an account over on any other platform. That's where I follow him anyways, over on Instagram. And then we also have Killabean 5000, who is on TikTok and has lots and lots of followers on TikTok. She's going to be coming on with us as well, or they are coming on with us. And actually, we were going to have them all on the week of Gen Con, and we had forgotten to clear the schedule here with Goodman, and some things got messed up. But anyways, fortunately, they can all come, and we've shifted them back. And we're always looking for more people. If you have a friend or a family member that you think would be great on this, we are a little old school. You can email us at oldmenrollingdice@gmail.com. You can always reach out to Aphi and the Voctaire through their Discord server. You can reach out to Old Men Rolling Dice through our Instagram. You know, if you know where you can find, if you have a place that you're following us, just reach out to us. We'll get you on.
Or if you're more in person, you can come see us on the weekend in Kitchener-Waterloo for Ragnarok XP. Yeah.
All 50 people that will be attending. We're still looking forward to it. It's gonna be It'll be fun.
Jeremy, my friend too. Also, I put an invitation or a link actually for anybody. We have this wonderful Facebook group. It's called the GUI Game Masters Den of Enlightenment. And it's a really nice group. There's none of this weird stuff and all this drama and all these things that go on. And it really is just about creativity and art and gaming and all this stuff that we love. And I'd love to invite you to come join us. We have quite a number of wonderful folks who are in there. You'll know some of them. And it's just a great group.
I will do that.
And you too, Aphi, and Matt, you as well, and Artemis, please, and anyone from your audience,
I think that let me post a link in chat. Did you see that, Aphi? Did that link work?
Oh, it actually worked. Yes,
I'm already in there, Alphinius.
I knew you were, Matt. This is why we have to talk.
Alphinius has the GUI morning. He's being modest. He's got GUI morning streams. West Veridia and the huge map with all the kind of clues on it.
Matt, awesome. Matt, you are magnificent, and you need to do a little more writing for us. I didn't know you were writing modules and stuff. We have to have a chat about this again, my friend.
Again, whenever I'm not distracted is when I'm writing. I'm easily distracted.
So check out that link that we posted in chat. Check out Matt's DMing here every other week. So come back and check out Matt on right here on Goodman Games. Artemis, you can see DMing every Friday over on the Voctaire's channel. Aphi's over on the Voctaire channel multiple times a week.
Oh yeah.
You just have to go over there. And I'm on DM Jeremy and the Old Men Rolling Dice podcast. And this has been a first that we've had a whole bunch of firsts tonight. The first stat block, the first sort of where we've gotten to actually play in the one shot.
I feel like that was a choose your own adventure game almost.
I do.
Like what would happen if we wouldn't have opened the door?
Yeah.
We died.
You would have had to go back through the maze.
I'm being serious. I would have run,
but I didn't have much time.
No, hey, I appreciate a good railroad. That's another thing that doesn't get enough love. I understand people want to have choice, but also sometimes it's nice to just follow the railroad and see where the DM wants to take you.
If the tale's good enough, players will follow.
Exactly.
They will follow.
Exactly.
And I'm very much in the middle on this. I do not look down at all upon sort of railroady stuff, because if you think about great movies and great books, the player characters in those games, if you will, get railroaded all the time. They get to have all kinds of things happen to them that they don't want to have happen to them. So this is part of the adventure, right? Part of it is choice. Part of it is the illusion of choice. Part of it is the sort of pushing them down a track, and some of it is letting them just go free and have fun, So it's all of that, right? That makes a great game.
I agree. And if you have a new DM in your group, and I love getting more people into DMing, let them run a couple railroads. It makes their life easier. It builds their confidence, and then you're going to have a better DM in the long run. So don't hate on the railroad. Let people do a little bit of railroading.
Absolutely.
Well, this has been great, Aphi. Thank you for being my co-host again.
Thank you.
And you can take us out of here anytime. We'll see you in 2 weeks, everybody.
All right. See y'all in 2 weeks. Come see us in Kitchener-Waterloo.
Thank you.
Bye.